Slash, your horror movie podcast. Let's get right
All
into
right,
this.
game face.
Welcome back, Hack Stab Slash. It's your boy Hacky. That's Stabby. We got some cat down below us named Just Justin. This week on Hack Stab Slash Season 2, Episode 2, we're watching a fucking film, dude. It is quite the film. It is a 2005 film called Cursed. If you haven't seen it, it's about like werewolves and like stuff, I guess. It's got the goddess, Christina Ricci, a very young Jessie Eisenbergs, and we've got one of the D2 members in here, bro. We got Joshua Jackson.
I think we should jump right into it because I've already got some things midway through that I'm gonna definitely talk about. We'll give these people a little bit of a surprise for a while.
Yeah, Waterboy's got a lot of thoughts. He had to stop him.
He had to stop him.
He had a lot
Pre-pod.
of he was pre-pod. He had a lot of talks. And Sean, just be careful with that microphone. You kind of moving it again, and it's echoing pretty bad.
Pre-pod.
You had to stop his pee-pee?
Just grip it tight and just try to keep it like. Don't move it around a lot. That sound. Oh, son of a bitch. Oops. All right. Focus. All right.
I do apologize, Hack Stab Slash, if I go in and out. I am sitting in a camper right now in the middle of nowhere at a cabin in the woods. But we are going to be talking about a werewolf movie. It takes place in Los Angeles to change the lives of three young adults who, after being mauled by the beast, learn they must kill it in order to avoid becoming a werewolf themselves. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be a werewolf. I think that's pretty badass.
I would definitely be a werewolf, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, werewolves is my favorite thing ever. I'm so excited we're doing Werewolf Month, the second one, and so yeah, I'm all about the werewolves.
Take it away, Waterboy.
All right. Oh wait. Take it away,
Listen,
Justin.
I have to throw a curveball in there.
I was gonna say I only got notes for the first part of the movie.
I got notes for the second half of the movie.
I was gonna say, you see Waterboy's face, he's like, ah. All right, anyway, let's get right into this. So we saw it right away, and we're at a carnival, and the band Bowling for Soup is playing to start off this movie right away. And we meet Becky and Jenny, and they want to get some palm readings done by Zella. And they're getting their palm readings, and right away, this girl's like, blood, so much blood, you're in danger. And they're like, what? And they're like, it's not a man, it's a beast, beware the moon. And then Becky tells her to lay off the crack pipe. And they're like, yeah, you can't just tell someone like that. So Becky and Jenny leave, and we see Becky somehow loses Jenny, and she's calling out her name, and we see the shot of a full moon. So we're setting the mood right away. And then we meet Brooke and awkward Jimmy. Jimmy runs in, he's talking to this girl, Brooke. He starts getting bullied by a bunch of guys. The guys are just saying the most ridiculous things ever to him. They even call his dog gay. Some of these insults are absolutely ridiculous.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah,
This movie, if it ever got a remake, would lose so much homophobic dialogue.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say he calls everything so much gay jokes right there. Calls his dog gay, and then quick intro to that. All of a sudden, we meet Ellie. All of a sudden, and she is visiting Jake, who appears to be her boyfriend, and he looks like he's prepping to open some. What was that? Like a horror house, haunted house, museum thing? What the heck is that thing?
Yeah, it's like a wax museum type of like horror themed.
Yeah, you see he's getting ready to have the opening scene or whatever, and they have some corny dialogue and whatever, and he's stressed and needs some time away or whatever. And then we see Jimmy and Ellie driving home, and they are brother and sisters, we learn. And all of a sudden, as they're driving home, all of a sudden a dog, wolf, I don't know what you want to call it. Well, we know what it is, but jumps, smashes, hits their car. Their car goes and hits another car. Car goes flying off the cliff. And we actually see it's Becky from earlier. Oh my god, that's a great effect, Waterboy. Yeah, so this car flips 47 and a half times. We get Becky that we saw in the opening scene. She is trapped upside down in the woods, and Jimmy's up there calling the cops. We have Ellie trying to help her, and it's really creepy the whole entire time. Ellie's outside. She keeps hearing, does she hear something? Does she not hear something? She's hearing stuff in the woods, and Becky just wants to not be upside down anymore. And Jimmy goes in there, and he's trying to help her, and
He asked for consent first.
Yeah. So he's this girl's upside down.
Can we talk about how you cannot open a fucking trunk when the car is upside down and you don't pop the trunk? Was it just magically you can walk over there and because it's upside down you can fucking open it?
Just open it.
I'm gonna try to open the trunk.
Yeah, I'm gonna open the trunk. But then he's basically saying, "Oh, well, what we hit?" He's like, "I'm so sorry. We hit an animal. We hit an animal too. It was." And she goes, "It wasn't a dog, was it?" And actually, it was. And I'm not gonna lie, this jump scare actually got me. Right when he says it actually was, she gets a bite taken out of right of her neck from a giant werewolf, and it just pulls her right out of the car. And you got Jimmy holding on to her. Pretty sure Ellie grabs Jimmy's neck. They all get pulled out of the car. She gets dragged forever. Jimmy and Ellie are standing there freaking out. And then the half-eaten body gets thrown out at her. Her jaw's open. You see Becky looking up at them. She has no legs now, and she still turns for a second to try to to try to climb away. And yeah, and she dies. Do you guys have any thoughts real fast before I keep going on this quick on this opening so far?
That was Shannon Elizabeth, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm just gonna go out there and say that even in her deformed state, I would still gladly date her.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so even when she had no legs there and just crawled?
Yeah, it's even better, dude. It's less baggage.
She can't run away, bro.
Oh my god. Okay, just so we have the cops there now and everything.
Just stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah. Oh my god. The cops are like, what the hell was this? And they're like, I don't know, like maybe it was like a wolf. And this guy's like, there's been no wolf for 70 years, so we don't know what it is. Probably just a mountain lion. And you can tell something's wrong because their dog's with them, and Zipper bites them. And mountain lion, and they're like, yeah, well, just go home. And so Jimmy and Ellie go home, and Jimmy's up there searching for wolf attacks. He's trying to figure out what's going on. You have Ellie just all freaked out, walking around the house, and all of a sudden, of course, the door's open, the wind's blowing, and she turns around, and it's friggin' Jake. Jake's in the house, and they have the most awkward, just awful, cheesy dialogue you could ever seen in the whole entire movie, with some ridiculous like Dawson's Creek music playing in the background. And
that whole scene makes zero sense. Zero.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was so bad. They're kissing and it's all cheesy. I couldn't even read the dialogue was so bad or whatever they were talking about. But then out of nowhere, Ellie just bites a huge chunk out of his neck. Like, I mean, like the biggest chunk, like his neck falls sideways and the blood just starts shooting out of his neck and his head like falls off. And luckily, right after that, we see her wake up in the bed and it was all a dream. So that was interesting. And then right after that,
that's what I thought I was about to say.
I know, that's why I paused awkwardly because as soon as I said that, I'm like, one of them's gonna say
I used to read Werewolf magazine.
Oh, that was actually pretty good. So after she wakes up, and luckily it was a dream, we see Jimmy, and he wakes up completely naked in the bushes outside. And one of the neighbors looks at him, and he climbs up the house, scales the house, and goes in there. And Ellie's in there making breakfast, and you see Jimmy walk in, and he's like, what the heck's going on? And you can tell something weird's going on because there's like a fly going around, and Ellie like traps the fly with her hand. She actually catches it, and she's like, "Oh, how'd you sleep?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I woke up in the bushes, and I was just bitten by the werewolf. Like I could be cursed. And he's in. What is he eating? Like roast beef or something or meat? He's in there just like grabbing like tons of like meat and eating it and everything. And anyway, so then we see Ellie's at work now. She works at the Craig Kilburn show. We meet Joni, who is assistant there, and she's kind of a bitch. And you just see Ellie like, what smells so good? And they're like, huh? And she hunts down this person who's got blood just pouring out of the nose. Like she's looking around like someone's like cooking something incredible. And it's just some woman with an insane nosebleed, and she's like awkwardly staring at her. What do you got, Water Boy?
just start going around sniffing everybody.
Oh, so
like,
weird.
I was expecting her to like jump on someone that actually smelled good, like it was driving her senses crazy. Walk down the entire office to the break room to spot some chick at a sink with just a nosebleed, and it looked like she was just like all about it.
So you can see there's some slight changes scene. Like you see Jimmy ends up talking to Brooke again, and the bullies kind of make fun of him again, and this time he actually talks back a little bit, so you can tell there's something going on here. And then there's a party for Ellie's work, and randomly Scott Baio, the actor, he's in there. Talking about how he's going to go on after Carrot Top and after Ashton Kutcher for the Craig Kilburn show. So she's got to meet with them. And all of a sudden, Jake Jake goes in there, and all the
Justin, you know, there's something about you I can't quite put my finger on, but I could put my whole hand on it. The delivery from Christina Ricci to Scott Baio about him being a perv was perfect.
That was spot on.
We see Jake there, and all the girls are like just all over him and everything. And Ellie awkwardly just like leaves Scott, and she's like, you know what, I'm out of here. She confronts Jake. She's like, what's going on? How do you know all these girls? And we see Ellie go into the parking garage, and we can hear something and see. You can't see what it is, but something is kind of growling around and sniffing her car, and we see it from like a POV shot of something kind of moving around, and you can't really tell what's going on there. And then after she leaves, we have Jenny, who we met earlier in the movie, who said she was cursed, in her leopard girl outfit, and she walks out into the parking garage, and all of a sudden we see like paw prints all over the place, and she's like, what the hell is that? And out of nowhere she gets absolutely chucked by this werewolf. She hits a car, and then all of a sudden we see her hiding under the car, and you get this badass shot of like, you see the werewolf's legs at first, like underneath the car. And I'm not gonna lie, like out of werewolves, they do not have that good a calf development, Waterboy. Like I was just thinking of you, like your calves are way more jacked than that.
100%, dude. Maybe I'm a werewolf.
Maybe you should call Hollywood and give them tips.
You're a werewolf. Maybe you're a werewolf.
Oh my god, he's like,
maybe you're a part-time werewolf. I'm a full-time werewolf. Can't catch a fucking cold.
Maybe I should be a calf actor.
Maybe I bit my own hand.
Ow, that hurt.
But anyway, so then all of a sudden this werewolf jumps up on the car. You zoom in on its face. So we see this whole entire beast, and we see its face. It is pissed off now. It is clawing the cars. There's limes going on. This thing rips out the car alarms, throws it in there. She runs back inside now into an elevator. The werewolf's clawing, trying to get in an elevator. She's trying to climb up and everything. And all of a sudden it gets quiet. So, of course, what does she do? She pokes her head out, and boom, this werewolf just absolutely mouths her. And that's all I got for my part.
You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't. No.
You gotta transition.
Just no. No.
And
this is crazy. Crazy animal trying to kill me, and there's a small square that it can barely fit through. And what am I going to do the second it backs off? Let me stick my head just in reach.
Yeah. So bad. I know. I saw that too. I'm like, you just escaped all that, and then what are you going to do? You're going to stick your head out?
Deserved.
100%
like eight minutes of escaping a werewolf using your wits, and then you get got by putting your head through a fucking.
You fucking levitate on the driver's side of a fucking Hummer. Pick everything up. Take your shoes off so you don't make sounds, and you're gonna stick your head through there. Yeah, you're gonna play games with the werewolf.
She's doing so good. And
usually there were lots of sound, but there was no sounds. Lots of lights.
Lots of lights and sounds. Do you know what the worst part about this whole scene is? What? Is that elevator scene? Like, it did get me to jump when it burst through the doors and like got her.
Yeah.
There was so much studio interference. I guess the scene was like incredibly gory and just like over the top and like so well done with practical effects. And the studio was like, no, we want this PG-13.
Fuck the studio, dude.
Yeah, they reshot that. That was one of the scenes that got like reshot like 47 times. So they said the end product was like nothing like they actually planned on it at all.
And that wasn't even originally. I think the singer's name is Maya. It wasn't even originally her. If you guys saw it, it was Mandy Moore.
Dude, they had the whole cast. I mean, they had the guy from Scream. I can't even think of his name for a second right now.
Skeet Ulrich.
Dude, they had this whole entire movie was an absolutely disaster. Like they had to reshoot half the movie. The plot got all changed. The whole cast, they got like recast. Like people like quit the movie. It was a disaster.
Waterboy, you get any notes on these? Jinx, double jinx, show me a coke.
Right, that was weird.
Want some coke?
Oh my god! Some product placement right there.
Please tell me that's got names on it, and one of them is either Justin or Sean or Chris.
Oh my god!
You know how they used to do those?
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't.
That'd be perfect. But so after seeing this so far, I mean, it seems okay pace. It's got the character growth in there. We get the first glimpse of the werewolf. I did think it was going to be one of those where you don't get to see the werewolf too much, sort of like the last one where you like just see the point of view. But of course, the garage scene changed that, thankfully, because I do like to see me a werewolf. The acting isn't the greatest.
No, oh God, no.
but the effects for the time, I will say, are all right. What do you think? What do you think, Sean? What do you think? Sound good.
Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I go the crazy palm reader, heavy rock music, a beat strip scene. This is so 2005. Then the bullies on Jimmy and his dog, and his voice cracking, and the corny ass intro music for Ellie walking into a place called Tinsel. It's almost hard to watch, but for some reason, I just enjoy it. Maybe the nostalgic feeling I get watching this. I was like, the sibling bickering back and forth, the excessive rollover in the car accident is just so overplayed. But honestly, I was expecting the car to be on fire and just blow up by the time they got down there. And then when she's like, it wasn't a dog, was it? That moment, amazingly timed. Zipper
so
wanting,
awesome.
dude, Zipper wanting nothing to do with Ellie or Billy after the attack shows that the infection is almost immediate. Like, obviously, you don't get your full wolf powers, but the second you make contact, it's immediate, which is pretty cool. So you're not waiting and like seeing things slowly turn in like 1 second you're bad, 1 second you're not. But Waterboy, bro, had the iMac back when Macintosh was king, and it wasn't just an Apple product. Dude, kids would fist fight over these computers when I was in school. Oregon Trail on these was fucking fire.
Oh,
Oregon
so
Trail.
good.
And
I've
then
died
just
so many times.
when we were talking about when what's his name, Kyle shows up, I go, also, whose fucking boyfriend shows up in the middle of the night like a serial killer and leaves the front door open?
Right? That whole scene, I was like, what is happening? Like, what is this guy doing?
I was like, bro, the heat's on. Shut the fucking door.
Right?
The
How dare
CGI
you,
scene, it wasn't the greatest, and it feels very dated, but it was effective. And then I wrote down, I go, and Tarzan waking up naked and the dogs barking gave me a chuckle. The gossip and the trash talking with Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Scott Baio, Aston Kutcher, Carrot Top. Can this get any more 2000s? And then I was like, the stalk and kill in the garage, though, was beautifully done, and the tension was great.
Give it to me all. Love it.
It's give it all to me.
Give it to me, baby.
Give it to me all.
Give it to me all. I'm not awake. All right, take it away, Waterboy. Let's get this moving. Part 2. I mean, second part. Let's go.
Part 2.
Part 2. I have not even Englishing right.
All right, so after that killer scene, we pan over to Jimmy, looking at the werewolf books, realizing that he has the mark of the beast. Starts explaining it to Ellie about werewolves and the mark, and realizing that she has that same mark, and even still thinks it's crazy, and tries to pick up a silver picture frame to prove if she's a werewolf. It should have hurt her, but it didn't. And go back reading some more werewolf comic books. Jimmy starts hearing barking outside, and a whole clan of dogs barking at him before he quiets them down with a good old howl. That's Jesus. Ellie arriving at work is pulled away by the gypsy we saw at the beginning, letting her know she's cursed and she needs to sever the line to end the curse, and that he is closer than she thinks. Jimmy, a changed man, now goes sticking up to Bo, his bully, and gets into trying out for the wrestling team. Absolutely embarrassing, all of them. Like, holy shit!
Awesome fight.
This is why we want to be a werewolf.
Crazy suplexes in there. We got everything going on there.
Ellie with the interviewers happening. Randomly sucks on the finger of, what is it? Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilburn.
He looked like she just unlocked a new kink for him.
Oh,
like when she did that, he was shocked and then was like, damn, girl.
Oh, yeah. I kept staring back at her.
Ellie freaking out, hearing voices, going through a transformation, it seems, in the bathroom. Big eyes and a scary Christina Ricci voice. Later, we see she's starting to turn. Oh, God. Jimmy goes to visit Jake, talking about the weird things that's going on and telling him about the wreck in the canyon. Back to Jimmy about to snack on some raw steak. grabs for a silver pie server, and it burns his hand. Bo coming over to talk after the brutal beating he took earlier. Turns out he's actually gay. Yay, go
Projecting
gay.
all his insecurities onto Jimmy.
Zipper the dog takes the steak off the counter, and Jimmy goes up under the table to confront him about taking his damn steak. Turns out the goddamn dog's a werewolf too.
Jesus Christ.
God dang. Bo's still there, and Jimmy takes off with Bo to go help to go find Ellie. Jake confronts Ellie after she had seen the news postings of the girls that are missing and noticed the same ones that Jake had been with, and he wants to explain everything to her. Trying to knock on the window, and he fucking breaks it.
Whoops.
Turns out the animal in the forest in the beginning was actually Jake, or was it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Of course, I get the part in the wax museum with Pinhead.
Oh yeah.
Completely
I
skip
thought of you
over
myself.
Freddy Krueger. It's cool.
Oh, that I mean,
Yeah, just
I
go
mean,
right to Pinhead. 'Cause-
I mean, Justin skipped over Freddy Krueger. I mean, that was at the beginning. It was the first 4 minutes of the movie. Good job.
Oh
guys.
yeah, it was. I'm
Oh,
disappointed.
yeah, it was. Wow,
Terrible.
God, I'm sorry.
And you say that Freddy Krueger scared you the most when you were a kid?
He did. That's why do you think I left him
Yeah,
out?
he blacks
I
him
still
out.
have-
Oh, okay,
I have
okay.
PTSD. I was
Okay,
terrified.
He's
that-
got like a
and-
permanent sensor in his brain, so
and
anything
all-
Freddy Krueger,
okay.
like your backdrop, he can't see the other side. He can only
I'm
see
so
Michael.
sorry for triggering
Seriously,
your PTSD.
if
bro.
we
I'm
ever
so
do a Nightmare on Elm Street series, I have to talk about it. You'll hear some stories of how actually terrified, and yeah, it goes
Yeah,
deep. But anyway,
Justin's just gonna sweat the whole episode.
yeah, seriously.
So,
But this is fine, guys.
John,
Never
take it
gonna-
away,
never-
take it away, take it away, take it away.
Never gonna sleep again. Ah, more coffee. All right, sorry.
Jimmy is at Tenso looking for Ellie, and she's explaining to Jimmy that Jake is the werewolf that bit them. Ellie enters into the Hall of Mirrors, which is where Jimmy and Bo are as well. And now Jake tries explaining that it wasn't him who had killed the girls and it was an accident, and that there's another like him and he doesn't know who it is. That same wolf breaks through the glass, tossing Jake and trying to get Ellie, then goes after Jimmy and Bo. Get everybody out of here. Radio for help. And that was my Christina Ricci impression.
Oh,
But-
love it.
Fucking
and
horrible.
then the cop's like, why? And then the wolf busts through the fucking wall like fucking Kool-Aid man. And everybody's
Yes.
freaking out.
Cool.
Guess he's got a reason now. A lockdown initiates, closing Ellie in there with the wolf and Jimmy and the whole fam. And see you later, Kyle. And hello, Sean.
Hello,
We're
John.
on this thing home. What did you guys think of these previous scenes there?
I just want to talk about the coming out scene when he was gay. Had to been the funniest coming out scene ever because
This is
Jimmy
hard
comes
for
out
me.
as a
Stop
werewolf.
making it about you.
Yeah, comes out. He's like, no, I'm a werewolf, and just the fact that he comes out as gay and he comes out as a werewolf is just the funniest thing I've ever seen. Just how he
You
keeps
don't
talking
have
like,
to
no,
hide from me.
yeah, he's like, no, I'm seriously like a werewolf.
I'm
It
cursed.
Just,
I know it feels like that sometimes, doesn't it?
and just it was so good. And just that actor, what's it, Jessie Eisenberg? Is that Eisenberg or something? Oh, his awkwardness and stuff it's so good. It's just so funny.
So my notes on this set of scenes, I got Billy really couldn't just look at his hand and realize it was a pentagram. Instead, he has to connect the lines and look more and more surprised with each connection.
I did think that was kind of funny.
If there was anything I've learned from horror movies, it's the fact that when you howl at dogs, make sure you've hit puberty first and just get your facts from comic books. They're funnier and easier reads, and just they have almost all the facts. You just don't waste your time reading a full fucking book. The glow up, the glow up or the wolf up of Jimmy, just and the way he runs through the wrestling team, it's so fun to watch. And then when he's got him straight up in the air and he goes, you know what the best part about being a fucking fairy is you can fly. And then he just drops him and everyone goes nuts.
Awesome one-liners, just like you said, awesome wrestling moves. It was so great.
And then when we jump to the Christina Ricci scene, like, who the fuck just opens a stall door on someone in the bathroom, friend or not?
Are you pooping in there?
Yeah, that was
And
odd.
then- and
That
then-
was odd.
And my first thoughts when it came to the steak scene was, you better share that with the fucking dog. I don't know about you guys, but you have to share it with your dog. He's sitting there, he's crying. You guys haven't been getting along. Offer him a peace offering. However, when he gets interrupted by Bo about being gay because it takes one to know one, I'm also convinced that because he didn't share his steak before he went out with Zipper, this is why he snaps and chases Jimmy out of the house. And just he tries to take the steak away from him, and the dog turns on him. And then my favorite part about this set of scenes is the fact that we get NSYNC on the red carpet at Tinsel. And Jake being a werewolf, guys, this is starting to get pretty hairy.
I forgot we had Lance Bass walking in there on the carpet.
Yeah.
It's all random.
Oh, God.
All right, so now it's on to my set of scenes, fucking Hack Stab Slash. So you ready for the ride? Because Scott Baio saves Ellie's life. No one else, after she just completely shuts him down. And then, like Waterboy said, when they lock the security gates and Ellie goes back in to save Jimmy, things start getting crazy, and you get that creepy ass Kyle scene where he shows up, he plays dumb, he's giving off killer vibes to the maximum. Like, if this dude, if you could turn up killer vibes to a 10, this guy is at an 11. And it's immediately followed up with him getting snatched up, scratched up, and then being dropped from the ceiling by a wolf. So he's out of the equation. He's not the killer wolf. Right. Someone else is. Jimmy and Ellie start going nuts. They're running around in circles looking for a way out. Jimmy winds up on stage and he goes, wait, wasn't there 3 singers? And as he says it, Joni just barrel asses through, like, behind the curtain. She takes out Jimmy, now revealing that she's a she-wolf. I'm going to call her a she-wolf because she's very, pretentious.
That works.
After her quick little, like, expo dump on her becoming a wolf and blaming it on a hot night with a hot guy, Ellie and Joni start to throw claws now. Jimmy wants a fair fight with Joni, and she just kicks him in the face and says, this is Hollywood. Ellie and Billy are now being hunted with a sword, but Ellie manages to, like, find Mace as she's crawling away, and she sprays Joni in the face. Joni stumbles back, dumps water in her face, but as she's doing this, she bumps into Jake, and Jake realizes, like, it's her. They have a little conversation, and he goes, how did this happen? What happened? And she goes, I guess there's no safe sex with a werewolf.
What a great line.
Joni tells Jake she won't kill Ellie. She's just going to rip her to shreds and let her choke on her own blood. And maybe she's going to eat her too. Jake starts to come into, like, Ellie's defense, and Joni just quickly disposes of Jake, just gets rid of him. So Joni then just disposes of Jake rather easily and then starts to hunt Billy and Ellie again. Joni wolfs out for an intense flame-wielding, Chandler-breaking, table-smashing, silver cane showdown. But Joni decides she's going to take off before the cops show up. She's hiding now. The cops come in, and none of them believe Billy and Ellie about the werewolf thing. They start kind of mocking them until Ellie describes Joni as having a bony ass, fat thighs, and bad skin. Joni pops up, calling her a liar, giving her the middle finger as the cops unload clips into Joni. Jimmy and Ellie now find Bo, who's still alive, but no Jake. When the dust settles, Joni is now dead and back to her human form. Ellie and Jimmy head home to just an absolutely trashed house. Jimmy goes down to fix a fuse to try and get the electricity on, and they both realize that they're still wolves, even though Joni is dead. And that's because Joni didn't change them. Someone else did. Jake shows up at the house again with the front door just wide open. Man, this dude just does not have respect for people's heating bills.
I'll say, what a dickhead. Let's just say that.
My dad will be going freaking crazy right now.
Right? Dude, don't touch that thermostat.
Right?
God dang it.
Live in a barn.
Dang it, He's now trying to convince Ellie that he can teach her how to live with it. This dude, Jake, his reasoning for them to join him and, like, become this little wolf pack just makes him sound like a giant douchebag. Like, he does nothing but tee off on them and tell them how pathetic they are and how they're nothing without him and how she sucks at raising her brother. And Ellie just refuses it. So Jake now turns on Ellie and Jimmy and starts to talk more shit about how weak they are and how stupid they are. It's getting redundant, and quite frankly, I can't wait for them to just go at it with this fucking guy. Jimmy comes upstairs, and he now decides to run away on the ceiling as he starts to wolf out, but then comes back as Ellie's losing the battle with Jake. Billy and Ellie team up on Jake, though, as Billy bites into his neck and Ellie stabs him in the chest with a silver wedding cake server. She then cuts off his head, and now Jake bursts into flames because werewolf blood is highly flammable. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I do know.
I mean,
life comes at you fast.
And then, guys, the ending of this movie makes so much sense. Are you ready? Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
You buckled in? You dialed in?
I'm ready.
All right, dude. Brooke shows up with Zipper and Bo. Jimmy gets the girl in the end, and he kisses Brooke. He offers to walk her home like there isn't a fucking dead body that's well done to a charred crisp on his kitchen floor. We get end credits as Ellie says she stay behind and clean, instead of calling the fucking cops, right?
Guess I'll clean up and stay here.
Yeah. I'm not going to call the cops, guys. There's a dead body on fire in my kitchen. You guys all walk home together, hold hands. I'm going to stay here and clean up.
I'm gonna clean. Oh
Hey,
my God,
Jimmy.
what a line.
Jimmy, before you go, Jimmy, do you know where the 409 is? I got to scrub some tiles.
Where's the Casper ghosts?
What the fuck?
Oh my God. Waterboy has some thoughts.
All right. Waterboy, you go, then I go. Because at the end of my rating, I think I matched Justin's. I'm going to go ahead and say I might have matched Justin's.
All right. So
all
overall,
right.
For Wes Craven, 2005, his only werewolf movie, they did a relatively decent job for the time. I'll give him. I would have liked to see a little bit more practical, since CGI wasn't at its prime, or at least they didn't use it felt dated, like you said earlier. Still, for what they had and how they worked it, it was good.
Can I burn a fun
Not great
fact with
acting.
that comment real quick?
Yes.
This entire movie, the first cut, was practical. Studio interference because of the reshoots. Everything turned to CGI from different people.
And that's the way it always ends up happening, and it turns out bad for the movie. I don't know how they haven't learned that yet. But the ending scene was pretty freaking cool. With the final kill scene, I'm gonna give this a 7.4 out of 10.
Nice,
Strong.
There you go. Let's go.
The rating is strong with this one.
I was gonna say,
Rating
that's-
very strong.
I remember this movie being so much better than it was, and after doing some research on the film and the hell it went through with studio interferences, I completely understand why it's not a highly sought after movie. I still enjoy watching it though. Gave me those high school Friday night date night vibes. I'd still watch it again and again, but it's become a movie that I'm not seeking out. I'm not recommending as a werewolf movie. It's just a fun watch. Justin gave this movie a 6.3 out of 10, and I did as well.
Thank God you didn't nail it this time. You did not.
Justin gave it a 6.9.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh,
But my reason. All right, so same thing. I think
nostalgic.
I saw this when it came out in theaters, and I remember I saw it with 4 people, and I remember being so excited. None of them were horror fans, and I was the most amped up person ever for it. And they all looked at me like, "What the hell did I just watch? That movie was a mess." And I had to apologize to them. I'm like, "My bad. I got a little too excited." But at the same time, so this movie is kind of like a mess. And rewatching it now, because it was, like I said, this is probably only the second time I watched it. But it's still just something about the nostalgia, and I kind of love it. It's kind of a mess. I gave it a 7 out of 10. But like, I also do think I don't think it's kind of not a good movie, but I don't know. I love it. I still do love it. And I gave it a 7 just because it is so much fun and there is so much nostalgia and just over the topness. But yeah, for like, if you're rating like actual good werewolf movies, this isn't it. But if you're just looking for a fun, awesome time, I still love it. Oh, and the Halloween reference. Let's go. This one's kind of an easy one. We got Joni, who is played by Judy Greer. It plays Laurie Strode's daughter, Karen, in the newest Halloween trilogy. So there we go. Nice, easy one. Boom. Let's go. You can't stop me.
Do it. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Nope. No,
When I was digging into fun facts for this, there is a mountain of interviews from all the cast members.
Yeah.
And even the cast members that got completely written out and cut off. that were like, this movie was great. And then because of all the reshoots, the studio interference, the last minute replacements, this, that, the other thing, yada, yada, yada. They're like, this movie was a fucking mess. Even Wes Craven came out and was like, after the final product came out and the studio interference, no wonder why my phone didn't ring. Like, no one called for a movie for a while.
Same thing. I didn't even write any of the fun. I stopped writing it because I literally just said there was so many reshoots, cast change, production issues. There was so much. And like you said, how it was just a mess. And all the actors felt the same way. They were like, this is a disaster. And they all said the same thing. It was just
they're like Frankenstein, the movie.
Disaster.
Yeah. And I do have written down that I'm going to look for the original shots because from what I've read, they are far superior than the final cut. And there was actually a fun fact. I think it was 2015 or 2019. Someone actually sat down and watched the original movie and said it was like hands down so much better than what they put out for a final cut. All right. So fun facts, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the original plot line had three strangers brought together by a car accident in the Hollywood Hills. And the I can't say it, so I'm just going to skip it. Attack of a werewolf. The three characters were named Ellie Hudson, Vince Winston, and Jimmy Mayers. That's Christina Ricci, Skeet Ulrich, and Jessie Eisenberg. When the script was rewritten, the plot changed and focused on two estranged siblings who had to fight a curse after a werewolf attack. When the production was stalled, many cast members were cut, including like Heather Langenkamp, which would have been sick, Scott Foley, Omar Epps, Robert Foster, James Brolin, Corey Feldman. Like, there was a lot of people that were going to go into this movie. Like I had said earlier, the film was originally going to be rated R with like just graphic violent scenes everywhere, but the studio insisted on gore being cut down to make it more marketable PG-13, which makes zero fucking sense, dude. If you're going to make a horror movie, go towards the horror fans.
So, right?
Yeah. You want to make a PG-13 scary movie for like all the kiddies and stuff, give me fucking Teen Wolf.
Yeah, commit one way. Yeah, commit one way or the other.
And then, like I had said to you, Waterboy, about the CGI stuff, Rich Baker did the werewolf effects for the original version of the film, but once Bob Weinstein and Miramax ordered reshoots, all the scenes with Baker's effects were deleted, and K&B had to take over, but even most of their work didn't make it into the final scene because Miramax and Bob Weinstein thought that their effects didn't look so good, so they instead went with CGI in the film to cover up the practical effects. Like the death scenes, almost all the werewolf scenes, there were some promotional, some like prompt stills. It's so disappointing whenever they insert so much fucking CGI. In the beginning of the film, Jake shows Ellie a prop Iron Maiden. That prop is the exact replica of Iron Maiden used in the 1960s, The Addams Family, 1964. The TV series. Coincidentally, Christina Ricci was Wednesday in The Addams Family, 1991. The cane. I spotted this, and I'm a huge fan of this TV series movie, made-for-TV movie. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The cane on display in the beginning of the movie is the same one used in Storm of the Century by Stephen King. Have you guys seen that?
Did read that. I saw it I did. It was creepy. I don't remember it wicked good, but I saw it a long time ago.
Not seen it.
No, you have to watch it, Waterboy. It was like 5 hours long, and it was made for TV. So like, there's those random stops, but it creeps you out.
Like Rose Red, sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
That came out a long time ago, right?
Yeah, it came out in like 1999.
All right, I was gonna say I remember being at my parents. My dad was like watching it like way back in the day, and I think I watched it with him.
Yeah, you'll never sing "I'm a Little Teapot."
My god, I forgot about that, dude. Holy crap! Sorry, that unlocked memories I didn't know I had.
Oh yeah.
And then Justin, I got you covered, bro. At the 5 minute and 45 second mark, a homage to Freddy Krueger scene in the background.
There you go. You know Wes had to put that in there.
And then like you covered your Halloween time with Judy Greer. I had that written down in the fun facts just in case. In July 2021, Brian Collins from Screamfest blog did a review and a comparison between the final film and both the Craven's original unfinished cut and the first reshoot version, which surfaced from VHS work prints, and both films were praised as superior to the final film. I'd love to see the originals.
Right.
That's all I got, fellas.
Hell yeah.
That's all I got.
Sweet. What about
Sweet.
you already? All right. I guess. What? You don't have anything, do you? You already covered yours, right?
Sean got every single one of my facts.
All right. Should we just let him know what's next week?
No.
Oh,
We
It's a
all right,
surprise,
TikTok,
bro.
Yeah, we're gonna release TikTok saying what we're gonna do.
all right. Cool. Follow us on all the different things. TikTok. Check us out there, and we'll let you know what we're doing next week, and maybe we'll ask for some thoughts and stuff. So, Werewolf month rolls on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I did get
Wolfing it down.
few comments and reactions to this movie through like TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. Unfortunately, guys, I'm in a cabin in the middle of the woods and my phone is struggling and nothing is loading.
So make sure you don't read any Latin, all right?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, I think the TikTok comments, I think people kind of said they did like it, I think.
Yeah. I think the only one that said they didn't like it was maybe Jackson.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That's on point.
So-
But we
about
got, we did have one comment. Nikki Vicious, such a fantastic movie. I feel like more people should appreciate it. And I kind of like that too. Like I said, like maybe the movie I thought was kind of like, if you're judging it by a good movie, it might not be good. But it was so much fun. Buckle up, have a great time. I had a great time with it. So I kind of think she's right with that. And I think people should just kind of maybe appreciate it because it's so much fun.
Honestly, the nostalgic sense of this is totally worth the watch anyway. So.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I got it. We got our homie Joe Solento. Sorry if I'm murdering that. He said it's a great werewolf movie. He loves it. Our fellow coworker, postman, Joshua Manning said the werewolf genre is probably the most overlooked and underrated and underexplored. He doesn't know if underexplored is a word, but I like it. I'm using it. Proven by the fact that he's never actually seen this movie. And now that we're talking about it, he said he wants to go watch it.
What? Let's go. Who said that?
Yeah,
I love
Joshua Manning. Hell yeah.
Let's go, Josh. Werewolves are underappreciated. Every month should be Werewolf Month. I like werewolves. Oh!
All right.
Oh, that was terrible. Oh my god. I was trying to do like the thing in the movie, and cut that out.
You did it perfect, dude. It sounded like you haven't hit puberty yet.
Yeah, that was rough.
All right. I'm Hacky. That's Stabby.
Just Justin.
Have a good one, Hack Stab Slash. Join us next week.
Take
Follow
it
us
easy.
on
Well,
Twitter, YouTube, all those platforms. We developed a link tree, so it's easy to find everything in one spot. Come hang out with us and find out what we're watching next week.
We're professional now. Let's go.
let's do it.
I don't know about that.